My name's Frank Kinson, and I've been a Rotarian with the Rotary Club of El Paso for about 8 years. And prior to that, I had been probably more involved than most because my father was a Rotarian, and myself and both of my brothers were youth exchange, Rotary Youth Exchange. And so, in addition to our participation in that program, my family had a dozen exchange students that lived with us over the years. And here today because I was asked to talk a little bit about Veterans Day or my time in service. And I would just say that I appreciate everything that this club does for the people who've served and everybody that served, whether that was in combat or not. I'm grateful for that. I'm especially grateful for the fact that during the times that I served, I felt like the country was supporting us more than it has in the past, and even more than it's doing now. So for me, I guess Veterans Day is kind of a day of gratitude, but it comes with a little bit of guilt. I joined the military in February of 1989. And I signed up as a private, basically, and I did my basic training in Kentucky at Fort Knox, and my first duty station was Fort Bliss here in El Paso, and that's kind of my connection now. My job in the military was titled Cavalry Scout. It sounds maybe more glamorous than it actually was. I had a lot of duties that were not that glamorous. We spent a lot of time in the field. And when Desert Storm and Desert Shield came up, as those of you who are here in El Paso may remember, when the 3rd Armored Cavalry was still here, I was deployed with them. We were getting ready to go to our NTC training, which is basically just training in California, but we don't normally carry live ammunition, things like that. So we kind of knew that things might change, and for the most part, when we were over there, we shipped our vehicle. We rail loaded like we would for going to NTC, but instead of going to California, I think the vehicles went to the port in Beaumont, and then they got shipped overseas with an advance party, and we flew commercial air and waited for our vehicles to arrive at the port of Jabal. But I guess the point, as it applies to Veterans Day, is that, for the duration of that time period, there just seemed to be a tremendous amount of support at home and among our allies. We had a lot of allies that were deployed with us. And, when the fighting actually started, which for us started a little early, we had about a month before the official ground war, we crossed the berm. But when it happened, I felt like we had pretty much every advantage that we could have. And I think about the people that are serving today, and, they're in situations, where it's difficult to determine who's friend and who's foe. And with everything that's going on, and since, these current conflicts have been going on for so long, I think it's easy for people who aren't directly affected or who haven't experienced anything like it to not think about it. So I guess what that experience left for me was a sense of gratitude for what, how things worked out for me, but a sense of obligation to do more for the people, especially the people who are out there now, or the people who've suffered more for their experience. Because on the whole, for me, military was a good experience. It gave me structure. It helped me to continue my education, gave me leadership training. I got to work with a very diverse group of people. It worked out well. And even today, it's, something that I'm glad that I did when I had a chance to do it. But I realize that, it could have turned out a lot different. And if I were serving today, it might have been a lot different. So I'm glad that this club does what it does to recognize our veterans, and I'm always happy, not only that the club does what it does to reach out to them, but that I can be a part of that because, as I mentioned, that's something that it's personally gratifying to be able to do that. And I would hope that today everybody, I'm sure if we were to take a poll right now and ask, how many of you have served previously, we get some hands. And if we said how many of you know, have a relative in your family who served, we get a lot more hands. And if we said how many of you know someone, we probably have all the hands. So I think this is a holiday that affects us all, and it's a good time to think about, the people that have served before, living or past, and peacetime or war, and maybe especially the people that are serving now. So thank you.